Using the Ned rig may be the difference in getting a few bites or no bites at all. The Ned rig catches fish each and every day, even on the toughest of fishing days. However, if you can avoid making some of these Ned rig mistakes, it can help your fishing game and help you put a few more fish in the boat. So the first mistake that I make, honestly almost all the time, is fishing the Ned rig one way. And the most common way is that slow and steady drag along the bottom. But the Ned rig is actually a pretty versatile bait. To put a little variation on your little dragging technique, you can make it do little small hops along the bottom by giving the rod tip a little bit of a pop and making it hop along the bottom 3, 4, 5, 6 inches, a foot, however the fish are reacting to it that day. You can actually fish the Ned rig through the water column for suspended fish. If you know there are suspended fish out in the water column, you can just kind of let it do a pendulum method or just swim it through the water column to catch some of those fish. Especially if you have a shad-like Ned rig color going on. Another method that you can use the Ned rig is kind of like a demicky rig and use it to vertical fish bass off of brush piles and things like that. Using your 2D sonar or your live imaging sonar, using this like a demicky rig is an excellent way to get them up and out of those brush piles. And the last method is a pretty aggressive method, is snapping it off the bottom and letting it fall back down. You're either gonna get reaction bites off of that snap, or you're gonna get more bites on the fall. Either way, you're repeating that method over and over again, and whichever flavor the bass like that day, I promise you, they're gonna let you know. So the second mistake is using too heavy of a Ned head. This bait was originally designed to use very light weights, so it looks way more natural. The heavier weight that you use, the more unnatural the Ned rig will look. So try to use the lightest weight as possible. I kind of set my limits around 1/5 of an ounce. That's probably the heaviest I'll use, and I'll use that all the way 20 or 25 foot deep. I usually like to stick to around that 1/8 or 1/10 of an ounce Ned head weight, and that seems to produce the best results for me. Also, if you use lighter weights, you are less likely to get hung up in the chunk rock. So if you're using a lighter weight, it's just somehow, for some reason, it's just easier to get out of those tight situations. And my third mistake here is not rigging your Ned rigs with the straightest possible profile. By not having a straight profile on your Ned rig, the Ned rig can fall through the water column and it'll just be twisting all the way down. Not the action that you want, and it also can weaken your line. Now what you want to do with your Ned rig is, if you have one of these keepers here, just go ahead, snap that sucker off, mostly because it will cause your Ned rig to get bunched up or stretched out. It will either be stretched out where it looks like this, or after a while, maybe a few bites come along the way, it's gonna get bunched up and kinked up like that, if it catches just right. There you go. You don't want that to happen. If you just take that little keeper off and just put a little dab of super glue on the edge of the head and put your Elastec plastic next to it, that's good enough to keep that bait on there probably all day long. So the Ned rig may not be the best choice for fishing in those wooded or grassy areas. In that case, I would recommend using a weightless Texas rig. And there are some major mistakes that you can make with it, and I'll show you exactly how to avoid those in this video here. But until next time, see you later, fishing fam.